I mean, that's a hot cup of coffee. I would hate to have that in my hands when I go, GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update!
Was that one too many?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the coffee.
It's the coffee.
It is the coffee.
Alright, GameFront update time. How's everyone doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Are you doing good?
I'm doing good too.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? Man, it's been quite a week here at GameFront.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised it's been a week. It feels like just Friday we were doing the GameFront update.
Wait, what?
We did it on Friday last night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it hasn't been a
right
week. It hasn't even been a whole week. It's been 6 days, Mitch.
6 days, huh? So I'm excited for you. It's been a while since we've seen a James walkthrough, but next week you're going to be doing some Gears of War Judgment.
Gears of War Judgment, and Zach's been helping me with quite a bit of it. And when I say helping, I mean the same way that one would help me in Dark Souls. We were thinking about doing split screen, but I think it would be too much on the screen.
So when you say that, you mean you're the expert and he's the guy that you're trying to teach how to play Gears of War properly?
Zach is the lore master.
Oh, the lore master. That's a great name.
The lore master, isn't it?
The lore master.
Yeah, and he helps me. He helps me quite a bit. He helps me quite a bit with whatever's
By
going
lore
on.
master, does he say that guy's a boomer?
Yeah, well, actually, it's usually like you're shooting your friend. Lore says you don't shoot your friends, shoot the enemies.
Oh man,
he knows all the history of it.
You do not want to miss that walkthrough. Let me tell you.
It's doing good. I actually like the game a lot. I've only played a little bit of the Gears
series.
Series?
Yeah.
Is that the word? Series? I played some Gears of War 3, and I mean I liked it, but this is the first time I've gone into the game and been playing the campaign of it, and not just looking for some golden rooster.
Yeah, the golden rooster.
Awesome.
I sure hope that there's some awesome Easter eggs in that game. That was one of the best things about Gears of War 3. I've been playing the better GOW series, God of War.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I just feel like that's the kind of thing that you say right before a whole bunch of people say hurtful, meaningful things. I mean, the better GOW series.
They can say whatever they want.
Do you really think that it's better?
No, I definitely am much more of a fan of the God of War series than the Gears of War series.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Ascension. I do think it's the weakest of the games, but I think I already mentioned that. So let's move on to other things. I wanted to start doing something with the GameFront update. We in the last video we kind of talked a little more about our feelings on a certain discussion topic of the video game industry. I kind of wanted to continue that. So we're going to talk, this week's discussion topic is going to be about story in video games. And if you guys want to chime in, please leave a comment and let us know what you feel about it. But James, what do you feel about story in video games? Do you think, how important is it to you? And what are some examples of some good stories?
Well, yeah, I almost want to hear your answer first, so I can think of an elegant way to put my answer. Because I have really mixed feelings, and I don't want to cop out. But I love games like Tetris, and I love games like Pain, where you're slingshot. There's no story at all. You're chasing leaderboards and high scores. I like the feeling of that, of like trying to get through this, almost that looping sensation of like you're not getting to the end of a story. You're getting, you're buffing and sharpening your skills. But on the other hand, my favorite games that do have a story are like, I loved Eternal Sonata. Have you played Eternal Sonata?
Huh?
That game was amazing, and I loved the story. It was really a moving story, I thought. Chopin.
Yeah. Chopin.
It was like it was a great story, and with a story, then you can. I feel like you can share a game with a story with another person. And at the same time, it's kind of like reading a book. A book to read is so much more fun when you know somebody else who's reading it too. And I feel that same way with a video game. Like video games with a really good story are much more fun to talk about and to share about. But unless you're going head to head in Tetris against somebody, it's not really something that you can have a relationship through. And I don't mean relationship like sleep together or I don't even why. That's not a relationship. I don't mean relationship like dating. God, now I'm gonna get back into last week's discussion. I don't mean it like that. I mean you can talk and have relate to somebody through a story like Eternal Sonata that you're playing together. Whereas Tetris, if I come to you and be like, man, Mitch, I got 5 lines 5 times. It's like 25 goodies. It's not a fun story to tell to a friend. Wow. But then on the other side, there's Eternal Sonata, and I'm sorry if I'm taking much more time than you had anticipated. But now I'm going. Eternal Sonata, one story, one great story that you can share with one person that's playing with you at the same time, or reminisce about the wonderful story. But then there's games like, and you don't like Skyrim, so I'll stay away from it. But
don't you dare talk about Skyrim.
I'll talk about Fallout 3 then.
Okay.
You can play Fallout 3 through the whole campaign, see a story unfold in front of you that reflects the gameplay you've chosen. And somebody else can play that same game, and I've had so many great times talking to people about oh, what did you do? I found people that were slave traders, and I blah 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 blah, and I could go through the whole game and never see that.
Yeah, you kind of craft your own story through Fallout 3, and that's one of the really cool things about that game.
So, and my thing about stories is it's tough. I really don't have a solid position because I do love these disposable games like Tetris. I don't know if that's a good word to use. I enjoy a well-crafted story that is out of my control. But no, I guess my favorite would be Fallout 3, and I've said it's Skyrim. I like those games because I play it again and again. I can compare my own stories that I've crafted to myself and to my friends that have played it.
All right.
What do you think about stories, Mitch?
Well, thank God. I still have time to give a response.
That was all in one breath for the record.
No, I think with... I always talk with colleagues and friends about story. A lot of people really place story on a very high pedestal when it comes to their enjoyment in games. If it's a bad story, it really affects their enjoyment of the game. For me, it really depends on why or what my expectations are going into the game. Am I playing this game to have fun? Am I playing this game to, get that, high level story experience? Like if I was playing Eternal Sonata, for example, I'm playing this expecting, this is a JRPG, I'm expecting to really become involved in the characters, become involved in the world. So I place a very high emphasis on story with a game like that. And like you, I did enjoy Eternal Sonata. I thought that game did have a very emotional, moving story, great characters. But yeah, at the same time, I think there's a very big challenge with story in video games because on the one hand, they want to be a game. On the other hand, they want to be a moving story, and sometimes with certain genres, that does not always mesh together well.
Do you mean, when you say certain genres, do you mean like a Fallout 3 style? I think Fallout 3, do you mean that one works good, but I know what you're talking about. Is that the kind of style where you feel you're forced into it, or what? No, what's an example of what you're talking about?
I'll give an example. This is actually something I talked about in one of my personal video blogs. One of the criticisms I saw levied against Tomb Raider was that the game was trying to build up this story of Lara Croft being this normal person who was suddenly thrust into these crazy circumstances where she has to fight to survive. And the first hour or so of the game has you but basically being like a normal scared girl in this situation. And you eventually work your way to a point where you have to kill someone to survive. And she is shaking the gun. She blows this guy's head off. She basically throws up in response to it. And not even five minutes later, she's a capable killer who's getting headshots left and right. And for some people, it totally brought them out of that whole immersion of what they were trying to do.
Okay, that sounds very familiar to the arguments against Far Cry 3's story.
Yeah. So my thing is that, yes, Tomb Raider is trying to build up this story of Lara Croft being a believable protagonist in a crazy situation, but at the same time, it's trying to be a very good third-person shooter as well. And those sometimes clash. Those ideals clash because you can't have a fun third-person shooter if Lara Croft is, aiming her gun like this because she's not a professional, marksman. So yeah, I think story is important, but I also think you have to have a certain level of suspension of disbelief to enjoy the kind of stories that games offer. I don't think that a third-person shooter like Tomb Raider should sacrifice fun gameplay for the sake of, you know, a more realistic, emotional story like that. I think Tomb Raider did a great job with melding the two as good as it can.
Whereas you think Far Cry kind of failed at that. You liked Far Cry a little bit. You were a little disappointed in the story.
My problem with Far Cry wasn't so much that, it was that I did not give a shit about the characters in Far Cry 3.
You don't like douchebags?
They drove me crazy.
They were frat boys. They're not my... I warmed up to them, but that's not my style of people that I usually hang out with.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, I love being surprised by a game that that is able to meld story and video games seamlessly. For example, BioShock, which you just started playing.
Yeah, I just started playing.
Oh my god! If there was a masterpiece for that kind of storytelling, BioShock would be it.
Well, I'm interested in seeing how the storytelling comes out in that game. I don't want anything spoiled, but and games like Half-Life are gonna be the opposite of what I'm about to say. But I think that we need more often in video games to tell a story. I think that people forget the importance of relationships, and I'm bringing it back to there because at least in acting and in theater and in improv, when you're trying to tell a story, it's not about the events that really happen in the story. It's about the relationship between a person, and that's how somebody vicariously lives through the scenes and feels like they're part of it. And I don't think in BioShock I can see how, like, who do you have a relationship in that game with? And I don't want it spoiled, so don't answer it.
Don't spoil BioShock. In fact, someone's going to spoil BioShock for you. Don't read the comments of this game.
Yes, I won't. But in one of the things that made Half-Life feel good, there wasn't like a relationship of like a friend that you're going through the whole thing, but everybody in Black Mesa had a relationship with Gordon Freeman. They were surprised that he's rising to the moment as a hero. Wow. And that's what made that character more defined. Now, if you look at like the original Doom series, I might have played a moment of Doom 3, but the original Doom series, where it was lacking, was who am I? Without somebody else and me relating to other people, and I'm saying not me personally, but my character in a game, without him relating to the people around him, I don't know who I am. And that's how I can tell. And I think that that's where most video games lose the story. It's not in the plot events that may or may not be awesome, but it's in the fact that this character has no relationships.
You say good things sometimes, James.
Thank you.
Every now and then you surprise me. No, James always says good things. But yeah, I think that's a good place for us to wrap that discussion up. Let us know what you think in the comments about story in video games. How important is it to you? What are some of your favorite examples of stories in games?
Mine's Eternal Sonata. What's yours?
Yeah,
what's yours?
Eternal Sonata. Honestly, I would say BioShock. Just on the spot. BioShock is the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm excited to find out.
Great storytelling in video games. So yeah, that's pretty much all that we had to talk about with GameFront. Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Zach, what do you got there?
I got something for this gentleman right here.
Oh,
me?
Yeah, because you know you've been such a good sport with James vs. Games and being punished.
Zach's rewarding you for James vs. Games?
I'm rewarding you because you've done well recently. I mean, not this last one, but the one before that you did well. So I stopped into the place where I got the Buffalo Orange Soda, and I picked you up some more stuff.
Uh-oh. What you got here?
Let's see here. We have Mustache Elixir. I needed this. And we have Power Up Energy Drink. Amazing. And we have Chupa Chupa.
Have you ever had one of those?
I have, but never this size.
They're usually tiny.
They're usually tiny. How am I going to eat this?
I don't know. I figured your mouth was big enough.
How many licks? 1, 2, teeth everywhere. Teeth everywhere in the room. Well, thank you, Zach. This is actually, this means a lot because there's a lot of people that say, James, you get punished. What happens when you win? And at that point, I'm like, well, nothing happens. Yeah. This, thank you.
You're welcome.
It means a lot.
Good. Enjoy that.
Oh, well, this is a very nice end to a great GameFront update.
Yeah! I love it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Zach.
Give me all that stuff back.
Oh.
I didn't really get it for you.
Oh, my bad.
It's for the kid. I'm just not kidding.
Oh, yeah, that's how I get a present.
I'll be going out that way.
How is the coffee, by the way?
It's not bad. I mean, it's not as good as the coffee I make at my own house with Fairfield coffee from Hawaii. Is that what it's called?
Fairwind coffee?
That's what I said. Fairwind coffee.
Is the paper towel around here somewhere, or did we throw that away?
Paper towel? I believe
Oh, you know
that.
what? I think I used it for lunch. Perfect. Got it out of the trash. Ta-da!
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 Shall we start this up?
Go for it.
Hold on.
That there's a waterfall over here that will douse the flame, but the slide will go right past the waterfall. So, here's what we got to do. First, we're going to free this thing over here. That will drop that. That will cause some barrels